Bakit si VP Sara lang? Hindi ba patas ang batas? Kayo po na nagsasabing corrupt si VP Sara, ba't hindi nyo inaatake ang ibang departamento at si Pangulong Marcos? Patas ba ang batas sa inyo?
Day 18 na ho tayo ng impeachment trial mga kababayan. Sa mga di po nakakaalam, pang 450 million na ho ang nagagastos nila dito sa walang kakwentang-kwentang impeachment trial at malapit na ho nila makamit yung kalahating billion piso na nagagastos nila dito sa impeachment trial. Pero yung 11 days na 125 million na sinasabing ninakaw daw nitong si VP Sara, hanggang ngayon mga kababayan na hindi pa rin ho nila napapatunayan. At fishing expedition pa rin ho ang ginagawa nitong prosecution team. Pero yung 450 million, kitang-kita ho na nagagastos nila bawat day dyan sa impeachment. Hindi naman bawat day, 25 million a day. Diba? So pang day 18 na ho ito. So 25 million times 18 equals 450 million na ho ang nagagastos nila dito. Na sana yung 450 million na yon, marami pang natulungan ng mga kababayan natin dyan. Pero anong ginagawa nila? Impeachment pa rin ho ang inaatupag ng mga to. Pero yung mga kababayan natin na wala na makain dahil sa baha, mga naapektuhan ng baha, mga nasirang bahay, mga nasirang parang nasalanta ng baha, wala ho silang ginagawa. At ito si Ibangag, di ba? Binaha yung mga iba nating kababayan. Anong ginawa? Nabigay ng stuffed toys. Di ba? Mga kababayan, like na ho tayo dito sa Day 18 impeachment trial. Pero bago lahat, isang like at subscribe. Malaking tulong na ho yan sa ating channel sa mga gusto maging member ng ating community. Yung join button nandiyan lang sa baba. G.
Call of members. Senator Judge Aquino, Senator Judge Cayetano Alan, Senator Judge Cayetano Pia, Senator Judge De La Rosa, Senator Judge Ejercito, Senator Judge Estrada, Senator Judge Go, Senator Judge Ontiveros, Senator Judge Lacson, Senator Judge Lapid, Senator Judge Legarda, Senator Judge Marcoleta, Senator Judge Marcos, Senator Judge Padilla, Senator Judge Pangilinan, Senator Judge Soto III, Senator Judge Tulfo Erwin, Senator Judge Tulfo Rafi, Senator Judge Villanueva, Senator Judge Villar Camille, Senator Judge Villar Mark, Senator Judge Zubiri, the presiding officer, Senator Judge Escudero, the Senate President, Senator Judge Gatchalian.
With 15 senator judges present, the chair declares the presence of a quorum. In accordance with the rules of procedure on impeachment trials, the chair now recognizes the duly elected presiding officer to preside over the proceedings of the impeachment court.
If there are no, thank you, Mr. Senate President. If there are no objections, we shall dispense with the reading of the August 24, 2026 Journal of the Senate sitting in Impeachment Court and shall consider the same as approved. The Clerk of Court will kindly call the case before the Impeachment Court.
Case number 004-2026 in the matter of impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte.
Appearances of the parties.
Same appearance for the prosecution, Your Honors. We're ready.
Good morning, Your Honors. Same appearance for the respondent accused.
Thank you. We are in receipt. Before we proceed to our next witness, I believe it's going to be Mr. Ortonio. We are in receipt of a request for stipulation with respect to certain circumstances and documents from the prosecution. Is that correct? Do you confirm, Honorable Chua?
Yes, Your Honor.
We got a copy of the one, the lead counsel for respondent already responded to the request for stipulation for Eduardo Fajardo yesterday, I believe, and
That's
only
correct, Your
stipulated to the first 2 points.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
this one for Ortonio, we got it only last night. May I ask the counsel for respondent when you got the request for stipulation?
We also received this just last night, Your Honor, by email.
Is there an equal request for stipulation with respect to documents?
I believe, Your Honor, that on the third page of this new request for stipulation with respect to Mr. Lemuel Ortonio, there are certain documents that the prosecution requests for stipulation. But this will be addressed during the presentation and the cross-examination of the witness, Your Honor.
So can you already comment on the request for stipulation with respect to Ortonio, Attorney Sheila?
We can, Your Honor. We can only stipulate on items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. That's it, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Hold on, Honorable Chua. In regard to the documents, Attorney Sheila, some of these, if not all, I haven't checked actually individually because this is a different list from the list of documents that I have that Ortonio may identify based on our own study of the pretrial order and markings. How about the documents, Attorney
That's
Sheila?
our concern, Your Honor, since we only received this last night, and this is inconsistent also with the order of this court that any request for stipulation must be provided to either party at least 1 day
I
before the
agree.
hearing, Your Honor. And therefore, we would prefer to hear first the comment of the prosecution on this witness, and we will respond accordingly afterwards, Your Honor. And also, Your Honor, I will ask later on at the start of the presentation of the witness for another counsel to be acknowledged and recognized, Your Honor.
At the appropriate time, Attorney Sheila.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Honorable Chua.
Can I now, Your Honor, turn over to the counsel for the prosecution, Attorney May Divina Gracia?
I'm sorry, Honorable Chua.
May Divina Gracia, Your Honor.
Will be the one handling.
Yes, sir.
We're not yet there, counsel. I'm still at the point of trying to abbreviate the proceedings, at least with respect to the documents. And to give a shot at the counsel for respondents looking at the documents, how many are common documents or common exhibits? Because to the mind of the presiding officer, counsels, if it is a common exhibit, meaning marked by both parties separately, unless there is proof or allegation of fraud and or palpable mistake or absence of regularity, then it would have to be proven through the witness. However, absent that, the court can take it as already being authentic and its due execution having been established without need of proof through the identification of a witness. If there is that chance, the court is willing to give the parties a few minutes while the court is discussing its ruling with respect to the point raised by Attorney Sheila last August 12, which will take roughly about 20 to 25 minutes. Would that be enough time, Attorney Sheila, for you to go
Your
over the
Honor, we'll
documents?
just need around 5 minutes. We're amenable to some stipulation under item number 25, except for item number 25, B and V,
B and?
Beta and Victory, Your Honor, because these are not common exhibits. But with the rest of the items under number 25, we probably will just be needing 5 minutes to see the prosecution's documents and return to this court with a response to the request for stipulation.
5 minutes? If it's 5 minutes, the court will defer its ruling on your August 12 manifestation and just simply give you 5 minutes before we call Ortonio. 5 minutes?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, 5 minutes. Court declares a brief recess in order for the parties to be able to stipulate on the documents they will be presenting to the witness Ortonio to save on the court's time. Trial is in recess.
Okay, mga kabayan, napa-recess sila ha. Hantayin natin matapos yung recess. Anin mo natin to mga kabayan. May papanood ako sa inyo ha. Ito, nakita ko lang kanina to ha. Di ko lang kung kailan to o baka kanina nga. Pero nakita ko lang kanina to ha. Panood natin to. G.
Pabor ka
Yeah.
ba sa impeachment ni Vice President Sara Duterte?
Ayan.
Okay.
Mga
may
kabayan, ato-ato yung mga prosecution ay, ano tawag dito? House of Representatives. Ha?
No?
Yung mga nag-yes na yan. Pati yung nag-no na yun, mga
May lahat po ba ay yes? Isang no lang?
oh.
Sorry, I just really
Mga
have
House of
to ask
Representatives.
medyo
si Sir Attorney JV. Hinlo. Baka pwede po natin
GB
siyang bigyan ng
Hinlo.
mic kahit mabilis lang po. Bakit po no ang inyong boto, sir?
Ayan. Tingnan niyo sasagutin niya mga kababayan. Pakinggan niyo.
No. Sa dahilan po na ngayon nagsasalita ko bilang isang kandidato ng PDP Laban, dapat natin respetuhin ang equal protection of laws. Bakit aatakihin lang si VP Sara at hindi natin pag-aralan at suriin
Tama.
ang confidential fund ng Pangulong Marcos?
Tama.
At ng
Diba?
mga
Na ngayon mga kabayan, nangyayari naman talaga yan na puro sila akusa dito kay VP Sara, wala pa sila napapatunayan. Pero itong si Bongbong Marcos, ito si Marcos Jr., hindi nila, 'di ba? Hindi nila iniimbestigahan, hindi nila tinatanong dito sa confidential funds niya na billion ho. 'Di ba? Mga sabi-sabi diyan, billion ho ang confidential funds nitong Office of the President. Pero ang Office of the Vice President 135 million lang, hindi pa nila mapatunayan. 'Di ba? Tapos ngayon mga kabayan, yung 135 million na pala yon, impeachable offense na pala.
departamento na under
Yan.
kay Pangulong Marcos.
Tama.
Bakit si VP Sara lang?
Tama.
Hindi ba patas ang batas?
Hindi.
Kayo po na nagsasabing
Injustice. Tentalo.
corrupt si VP Sara, ba't
Tama.
hindi nyo inaatake ang ibang departamento?
Nanahimik lahat Nanahimik lahat mga kababayan, 'di ba? Kumbaga naliigan sila, 'di ba? Naliigan 'tong mga House of Representatives na 'to, 'di ba? Wala, hindi nakapagsalita kung ano natameme, 'di ba? Ano sa inyo ngayon? 'Di ba? Totoo naman yung nangyayari ngayon mga kababayan na puro na lang si VP Sara, lagi na lang si VP Sara yung mga corrupt. Tingnan niyo yung mga mukha niyo. Tingnan niyo yung mga mukha niyong 'yan, 'di ba? Pero okay lang 'yan balang araw, 'di ba? 2028, mawawala kayo lahat sa pwesto. Sigurado 'yon.
At si Pangulong Marcos.
Tama.
Patas ba ang batas sa inyo?
Hindi.
Patas ba? Dapat lahat, kung atakihin yung isang tao,
Patawa-tawa pa yung isa dun. Patawa-tawa pa. Paano ka na? Pa-nice G ka na. Ayaw magsalita na dito eh. Pa-nice G ka na, pa-nice G ka na. Di ba, mga kababayan, meron nga naman talaga nangyayari nga injustice, bendalo, di ba? Na nangyayari ngayon. Puro na lang si BP Sara, puro na lang si BP Sara. Bakit puro si BP Sara mga kabayan? Kasi takot na takot sila dito kay BP Sara bilang maging presidente ng Pilipinas sa 2028 kasi alam nila ang mangyayari. Pwede silang ipagorgol, di ba? Pwede silang ipa-hunting, pwede silang ipagorgol ni BP Sara, di ba? Alam natin yan mga kababayan, pero sigurado ako ang numero unong gagawin ni BP Sara dito kay Bangaga. Sigurado ako kulong yun for life. Sigurado. O baka may kulong yon for 6 years kasi 6 years ang term ng ng presidente, di ba? Baka kulong yan na 6 years. Pero mas maganda doon, magkita sila ni Tatay Diggs sa The Hague. Magkita sila ni Tatay Diggs sa ang tawag dito sa ICC, tapos si Tatay Diggs pauwi na, siya papasok pa lang. Diba? Si Tatay Diggs pauwi na sa ICC, papuntang Pilipinas, si Bangag papunta pa lang, makukulong pa lang sa ICC, 'di ba? Maganda 'yun. Kung mababalita 'yun sa sa mga bias na mainstream media, ay sobrang tuwa ni PH News Talk. Sobrang tuwa, 'di ba?
pantay-pantay, lahat atakihin nyo. Bakit
Tama.
tahimik kayo?
Tama. 'Di ba? Pantay-pantay lahat atakihin nyo. 'Di ba? Pero wala. Sinong inaatake nila mga kabayan? BP Sara. Sino ang iniimpis nila? BP Sara. Diba? Hanggang ngayon, wala pa rin ho sila napapatunayan na nagnanakaw talaga ito si BP Sara at fishing expedition pa rin ho ang ginagawa nitong prosecution team. Diba? O, dito naman tayo mga kababayan. Di pa tapos yung break time nila eh. O, dyan muna tayo. President Marcos blames heavy rain for massive flooding. Sa Tagalog, sinisisi ho nito si Marcos Jr. ang heavy rain, ang habagat sa matinding baha. Anong gusto mong gawin? Sige, kung sinisisi mo din ang heavy rain sa massive flooding, ikaw yung pumunta sa taas. Ganinin mo yung Pilipinas, di ba? Sanggayin mo ang Pilipinas sa matinding habagat. Di ba? Kumbaga, ikaw yung maging Sierra Madre ng Pilipinas. Ikaw yung maging Sierra Madre ng Pilipinas para wag mo sisihin ng mga habagat. Kasi yung mga kabayan, binabaha ang buong Pilipinas. Hindi naman buo. Di ba? Yung mga low-lying areas, binabaha. Tapos ngayon mga kabayan, sisisihin nito si Bangag ang massive rainfall. Ang massive heavy rain. 'di ba? Sinisisi mo ang habagat sa massive flooding, sa massive nabaha. Anong gusto mong gawin? Sige, sanggain mo yung yung habagat. Wait lang, pause muna natin 'yan, 'di ba? Sanggain mo yung habagat. Tapos para wala kang maraming sinisisi. Ngayon, mga kababayan, nagagalit na nga yung Panginoon sa iyo. 'Di ba? Kaya nga may habagat, nagagalit na sa iyo. Pinakikita niya yung mga ebidensya diyan sa flood control projects. Pero ano nangyari ngayon, mga kababayan? Sino ang nagdudusa sa mga pinagagawang pagnanakaw nitong mga opisyal na to? Di ba yung mga Pilipino? 'Di ba? Sino ang nagdudusa? Sino ang tumatanggap ng anong tawag doon? Kaparusahan. Yan, kaparusahan. Sino ang nagdudusa at tumatanggap ng kaparusahan? Hindi ba ito mga Pilipino? Diba? Dapat sila ang napaparusahan, mga kabayan. Pero ano ho yan eh, tawag dito, hindi ho pwedeng mangyari o maliit ang tsansang mangyari yan. Kasi hawak lahat ni Bangag. Diba? Pero okay lang yan. 2028, BP Sara tayo, mga kababayan. Diba? Tuloy na muna natin itong impeachment trial, tapos na ho sila mag-break time. At humingi ng oras, ang konting oras itong si Atty. Sheila. Wait lang, ayusin natin para makita nyo na maayos. G.
May we hear from the counsel for the respondent with respect to the proposed stipulations on item number 25 in regard to the documents?
We can stipulate on item number 25, Your Honor, and on the documents listed under that paragraph from A to V, Your Honor.
From alpha to victory.
Yes, Your Honor, subject to comment on the eventual offer.
Thank you very much, counsel. Thank you for helping the court in abbreviating the proceedings. Now, Honorable Chua, who again will be the one to present the witness, Ortonio?
The counsel for the prosecution, Attorney May Divina Gracia.
Attorney May Divina Gracia. You are recognized, ma'am.
Your Honor,
Yes, Attorney Sheila?
May
On the
I-
part of the respondents?
may I also ask that Attorney Christine Ferrer be recognized as counsel for the defense today, Your Honor, for this witness.
Attorney Ferrer is recognized.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning,
So it'll
Your
be-
Honors.
Is it correct to address you, Attorney May?
Yes, Your Honor.
So it'll be Attorney May and Attorney Christine.
Yes, Your Honor.
Call your witness, Attorney May.
Your Honor, we would like to call to the witness stand our sixth witness in the person of Mr. Lemuel G. Ortonio.
The clerk of court is directed through the OSA to kindly situate Mr. Ortonio at the witness stand. The clerk of court is directed to administer the oath to the witness.
Mr. Ortonio, please raise your right hand. You, Lemuel G. Ortonio, do swear that the evidence you shall give in the case now pending between the Philippines and Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes.
Kindly place on the record, because it was inaudible, that the witness responded in the affirmative by saying yes. Attorney May, your witness for direct examination, kindly make the offer.
Yes, Your Honor, but before we proceed to our offer, Your Honor, we would like to just read for the record the matters that were already stipulated on, Your Honor, for avoidance of doubt.
You may do so, counsel. You may proceed.
So, first, that the witness, Mr. Lemuel G. Ortonio, is the Assistant Secretary and Assistant Chief of Staff of the Office of the Vice President. Second, he holds the position of Assistant Secretary at salary grade 29. Third, his appointment is coterminous with the term of the Vice President. And fourth, his position is one of trust and confidence. May the defense kindly confirm if those are all the matters that you're willing to stipulate on? As well as, sorry, Your Honor, they're also stipulating on the authenticity and the genuine execution of the documents listed in paragraph 25 of the request for stipulation.
Attorney Christine?
Yes, Your Honor, subject to cross-examination.
Duly noted. Kindly proceed with your offer, Attorney May.
Your Honors, we are offering the testimony of Mr. Lembel G. Ortonio to qualify him as a hostile witness and to prove the following. Number one, the confidential funds answered to no legitimate confidential purpose. The amount was requested before the supporting plan was produced, and the 2023 plan just repeated the operative language of the 2022 plan. Nauna ang 250 million, sumunod ang plano matapos itong hingin ng DBM. Hindi plano ang nagtakda ng halaga. Ang halaga ang nauna sa kahinabol ng plano. Number two, the respondents' handprints are on every document that mattered. Mula request hanggang liquidation, nasa mahalagang dokumento ang kanyang otoridad at pag-aproba. Number three, the reports were written to fit the rules, not the facts. 4 na ulat, iisang template, mga halagang hindi nagbabago at laging eksaktong 125 million, not a peso more, not a centavo less. Walang natira, walang sinauli. Number 4, 5 days after COA questioned the medical and food aid item, the line disappeared while the report still totaled exactly 125 million. Question ng Commission on Audit ang medical and food aid na may halagang 40 million, 42 million at 40 million sa tatlong unang accomplishment reports. Makalipas ang 5 araw, wala na ito sa huling accomplishment report. Pero 125 million pa rin ang kabuuan ng halaga. Number 5, in 2 years, not one area, not one operation was ever named. Daang-daang area ang iniulat, 500 million ang ginastos. Ngunit wala ni isang lugar, ni isang operasyon, ni isang petsa ang pinangalanan. Number 6, the liquidation was late, irregular, and backdated. 10 buwan huli ang mga resibo. Mahigit 100 ang may petsang 1 taon pagkatapos ng di umano'y bayaran. Number 7, the certifications vouched for nothing and were signed by the man who received the money. Walang untoward incident. Iyan lamang ang pinatutunayan. Walang halaga, walang pangalan, walang lugar at walang petsa. At ang pumirma, ang mismong tumanggap ng pera. Number 8, the 500 million bought protection the Vice President already had. And against threats, the AFP and the PNP were already paid billions to watch. 473 sundalo at polis na ang nagbabantay sa kanya. Sahod ng Republika mula sa ibang pondo. Walang pangalawang pangulo sa kasaysayan ang nagkaroon ng ganito. At ang mga bantang tinutukoy sa mga ulat, ang NPA at mga teroristang grupo. Sakop na ng intelligence funds ng AFP at PNP. Bayad na ang proteksyon, bayad na ang pagbabantay, bago pa ang kahit 1 piso ng confidential funds. Number 9, the justification for the confidential funds shifted with every finding. Sa DBM, safe implementation ng good governance programs, official engagements, and functional representation ng pangalawang Pangulo. Sa mga plano, confidence building, for Good Governance Programs at pagsapit ng 2023 Socio-Economic Program Delivery. Sa mga certifications, surveillance and information gathering to prevent untoward incidents from transpiring. Sa Protective Intelligence Operations Reports, for intelligence gathering naman. Sa mga sagot sa Audit Observation Memoranda at notices or at notice of suspension for surveillance activities to determine where best to implement the OVP's programs. 6 na bersyon, iisang pondo. Number 10, the officials knew, answered nothing. The man who says he knew nothing answered everything. Lahat ng sagot sa COA, pirma ng testigong ito, na ang sabi wala siyang personal na kaalaman. Ang mga tunay na nakakaalam, ang Respondent Vice President, ang Special Disbursing Officer, at ang Colonel, wala ni isang sumagot. Number 11, the explanations for the confidential funds are a sham, and the failure to account the funds gives rise to the presumption of misappropriation. Pabago-bago ang paliwanag, walang detalye, walang dokumentong sumusuporta, pagtatakip, hindi pagpapaliwanag. At hanggang ngayon, hindi na-account ang 500 million ng bayan. Sa ganitong kabiguan, ang batas na mismo ang nagsasalita, prima facie, na ipinalalagay na ang pondo ay ginamit para sa sariling kapakanan. That would be all for Your Honor.
Comment, Attorney Christine?
Yes, Your Honor. We note that the 11 items that were mentioned by the prosecution are all conclusions of fact and law, Your Honor. And actually, they are mere speculations and conjectures, Your Honor, not being proven before this honorable court. And they are all theories and, with all due respect, sound bites, Your Honor. Nevertheless, we will cross-examine the witness to verify the allegations or to disprove the allegations of the prosecution. Thank you.
They may be statements of fact or law, counsel, but that's what they seek to prove. Through this witness, hopefully, by declaring him as a hostile witness in due time. Duly noted, comment of the counsel for respondents noted. You may proceed with your direct examination, Attorney May.
Your Honor, before I proceed, we would just like to request for a continuing authority for our assisting counsel, Attorney Oliver C. Caido, to approach the witness and present and confront him with the necessary and relevant documents whenever we mention those documents, Your Honor.
Granted, as well as who would be the counterpart assisting counsel from the respondent, Attorney Christine?
Yes, Your Honor, Attorney David Gola.
And
Granted,
also,
insofar as both parties are concerned in regard to their respective assisting counsels who may approach the witness at any time during the direct and cross.
and also, Your Honor, we request a similar continuing authority for us to flash on the screen the relevant documents when mentioned for the appreciation of this honorable court and of everyone, Your Honor.
Granted likewise, including a similar grant rather with counsel for respondent should she desire to do so as well during her cross.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You
Good
may
morning.
proceed, counsel, when you're ready.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Ortonio.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm Buntag. Good morning.
Okay. Mr. Ortonio, naiintindihan ko po na ikaw ngayon ay nagsisilbing Assistant Secretary and Assistant Chief of Staff sa Office of the Vice President. Tama po ba?
That's correct po.
Kailan naman po kayo nagsimulang manungkulan bilang Assistant Secretary and Assistant Chief of Staff sa Office of the Vice President?
I started working as the Assistant Secretary and Assistant Chief of Staff last July 2022.
Okay. Now, Mr. Ortonio, at whose pleasure do you serve those positions?
I report directly to the Vice President, Sara Z. Duterte.
Okay. And prior to becoming Assistant Secretary and Assistant Chief of Staff, saan naman po kayo nagtatrabaho kung meron man?
I used to work with the City Government of Davao as the head of the Human Resource Management Office.
Noong time po na yon na nagsilbi kayo ng head ng Human Resource Management, sino naman po ang mayor ng panahon iyon?
The mayor at the time is the Vice President, Sara Z. Duterte.
And when did you serve as such, as head of the Human Resource Department of the city government of Davao City?
I started working as the head of the Human Resource Management Office in 2018, starting 2018.
And kanino naman po kayo nagre-report nung nanunungkulan kayo bilang head of the Human Resource Department?
As the head of the Human Resource, as the department head, I report directly to the mayor and as well have reportorial duties to the city administrator.
Okay. And prior to that, Mr. Ortonio, ano naman po ang inyong naging katungkulan, kung meron man, sa city government of Davao City?
Prior to being the human resource head, I also headed the Davao City Investment Promotion Center. That's from 2016 all the way to 2018 as well. And then in 2010 to 2013, I served as the Chief of Staff of the Office of the Mayor. And 2008 until 2010, I served as the Chief of Staff under the Office of the Vice Mayor.
Isa-isahin po natin. Nung nanungkulan ho kayo bilang head ng Davao City Investment and Promotion Center, sino naman po ang nanunungkulan bilang mayor ng Davao City at that time?
The mayor at the time is Vice President Sara Duterte.
Okay. Dung time naman po na nanungkulan kayo bilang Chief of Staff, sino naman po ang nanunungkulan bilang mayor at the time?
It's the Vice President Sara Z. Duterte.
At huli, nung nanungkulan ho kayo noong 2008 onwards, sino naman po ang nanunungkulan? Or sino naman po ang nanunungkulang bilang Vice Mayor at that time?
The Vice Mayor at the time is Vice President Sara Z. Duterte.
Now, prior to 2008, saan ho kayo nanunungkulan o nagtatrabaho kung meron man?
Prior to 2008, I worked with a government-owned and controlled corporation, and I also worked at a local chamber of commerce.
Maaari niyo pong banggitin sa korte na ito kung saan po iyon, yung mga kumpanyang iyon?
My first working experience was with the Pag-ibig Fund. That was 4 years, and then I worked around about 4 to 6 months with the Davao City Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. Mr. Ortonio, in October 2024, ano naman po ang mga compulsory processes, if any, na natanggap ninyo mula sa House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability?
I was invited to appear before the committee hearings for the Committee on Good Governance.
At sa ano-anong petsa naman po kayo inimbitahang mag-appear?
As to the exact dates po, ma'am, I cannot remember anymore the exact dates. However, there were several invitations that were extended to me.
Okay, several invitations or several hearings.
Yes, that's
Correct.
correct.
Ano naman po ang naging tugon ninyo dun sa mga iba't ibang imbitasyon na yun?
One of the reasons there was that it's a mere invitation.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ortonio, I have to cut you. Please just be responsive so as not to waste this honorable court's time. The question is merely, what was your response to those invitations for you to appear? You mentioned several. What was your response?
The response was, I will not attend the hearings.
Okay, so that was your response. What, if any, judicial remedy did you seek against those invitations?
So,
Did you ask for injunctive relief against the compulsion or the invitation for you to attend the hearings mentioned in those invitations?
the reason, ma'am, was that it's a mere
No,
invitation.
Again, Mr. Ortonio, I'm sorry, I don't want to be difficult, but again, let me just remind you to please be just responsive to the question. The question is simply, what judicial relief, if any, did you apply for in response to those invitations?
If I can remember, ma'am, none, ma'am.
Okay. And what was the subject matter of those hearings where you were invited, if you know?
It's regarding the confidential funds.
Okay. Now, Ms. Ortonio, what is your relation with Mr. Ernesto Nemenzo Ortonio Jr., who is the president and a member of the board of directors of PNX Udena Insurance Brokers Incorporated?
Your Honor,
Attorney Christine?
relevance, Your Honor.
It is very much relevant, Your Honor, because this would prove that this witness and the respondent move in the same social circle. And this witness can practically become a social pariah if he speaks unfavorably of the respondent.
You're on a short leash, counsel. Go to your point. Objection is overruled.
So, Mr. Ortonio, just to repeat the question, what is your relation with Mr. Ernesto Nemenzo Ortonio Jr., who is the president and a member of the board of directors of PNX Udena Insurance Brokers Incorporated?
He is my father po.
Okay. At ano naman po ang relasyon ng PNX Udena Insurance Brokers Corporation sa Udena Management and Resources Corporation, which forms part of the Udena Group founded and controlled by Mr. Dennis A.
Your Honor, please.
Yes, Attorney Christine.
Again, relevance, Your Honor, to the confidential funds. And she's on short leash.
Your
Attorney
Honor,
May,
if
Attorney
I
May,
may just
is this
quickly
part
respond.
of trying to qualify Mr. Ortonio as a hostile witness?
Yes, Your Honor, this will establish that this witness has an adverse interest, Your Honor, in this case.
With your indulgence, as well as with the permission of counsels for the parties, I think it has been established that Mr. Ortonio serves at the pleasure of the Vice President, has been working for her for quite some time, and is serving up to now. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Ortonio.
That's
with the Vice
correct, Your
President.
Honor.
And that if the Vice President is impeached and therefore removed from office, pati kayo matatanggal po, di ba? Dahil coterminous kayo.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And that as far as we know, until today, you are still working with the Office of the Vice President and serving under that capacity, coterminous.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
To abbreviate the proceedings, the court declares Mr. Ortonio as a hostile witness based on his adverse interest vis-a-vis the respondent and the prosecution, and that therefore counsel Attorney May can ask leading questions, but again, pursuant to the rules, may not ask misleading questions. You may proceed, ma'am, accordingly.
Thank you, Your Honor. I am showing you a video footage of the hearing of the CGGPA on November 25, 2024. May I request, Your Honor, our assisting counsel who is stationed at the technical booth to play the said video footage.
Continuing authority has been granted to counsels. You may proceed accordingly, counsel.
Office of the Vice President. Mr. Lemuel G. Artonio, Assistant Secretary and Assistant Chief of Staff. Ms. Winnie G. Diego, Chief of Public
Thank you.
Assistance.
Okay. Mr. Ortonio, ano ang relasyon mo sa Lemuel G. Ortonio na nabanggit sa video na aming pinakita?
That's me po, ma'am.
Okay. At ano naman, at tama ba, kinukumpirma mo ba na ang event na recorded dyan sa video footage na yan ay ang hearing ng CGGPA noong November 25, 2024?
That's correct po.
At Mr. Ortonio, maaalala mo ba na sa hearing na yan, sinabi mo, and I quote, you provide overall supervision for the internal affairs of the Office of the Vice President, end of quote.
That's correct po.
At pinapatutuhanan mo rin ba na kasama ng supervision na yan ang supervision sa Administrative and Financial Services Office at Strategy Management Office ng Office of the Vice President.
That's correct po.
Ngayon, Mr. Ortonio, tama bang sabihin ng Administrative and Financial Services Office, ito ang opisina sa Office of the Vice President na in charge sa pangkalahatang budget ng OVP?
That's correct po.
Kasama dito ang budget preparation,
That's correct.
budget disbursement, at liquidation.
That's correct.
And since you exercise supervision over this office, sa pangkalahatan, tama bang sabihin, generally, walang pondo ng OVP ang hinihiling, nilalabas, ginagastos o inililiquidate na wala sa inyong kaalaman at supervision? Tama ba? Generally, Mr. Ortonio.
Generally,
Yes.
yes.
Ngayon, ang Strategy Management Office naman, ito ang tanggapan ng OVP na nangangasiwa sa strategic planning, management, monitoring, evaluation, organizational development at iba pang kaugnayan ng tungkuling pamamahala ng OVP. Tama ba?
That's correct.
So kasama dito ang pagbuo at pagsubaybay sa mga programa, proyekto at aktibidad ng OVP. Tama ba?
That's correct.
So ngayon, dahil sa iyong pag-amin, tama rin bang sabihin na bawat programa ng OVP ay dumadaan sa SMO?
For all the activities.
Yes. At dahil kayo ang nagsusuperbisa sa SMO, kayo rin ang nagsusuperbisa sa mga programa, proyekto at aktibidad nito. Tama ba?
General supervision
Yes.
po.
In short, or sa madaling salita, bawat programa ng OVP ay dumadaan sa inyong supervision ng 2 beses. Una, kapag ito ay pinaplano ng SMO, at pangalawa, kapag binabayaran ito ng AFSO. Tama ba?
Yes po.
At tama rin bang sabihin na ang mga direktor ng 2 opisinang ito ay nag-uulat din sa iyo? Tama ba?
That's correct po.
Also, tama rin bang sabihin na ang Vice President mismo ang nagtalaga sa inyo ng supervision over these 2 offices?
Yes, that's correct as part of the organizational structure.
Okay. At tama rin bang sabihin na kaugnay ng inyong supervision sa SMO at AFSO, ang anumang direktibang natatanggap ninyo ay sa huli nagmumula sa Vice President?
That's correct.
Okay. At tama rin ba na sa pagganap ng inyong mga tungkulin, sa huli kayo ay nasasaklawan ng mga direksyon at instruction ng Vice President?
That's correct.
In short, the official acts that you perform in the discharge of those responsibilities are done pursuant to the authority vested in you by the Vice President.
That's correct.
Now, pumunta naman tayo ngayon, Mr. Ortonio, sa sulat kung saan nagsimula ang lahat. Okay, so, Mr. Ortonio, you assumed your position you mentioned earlier as Assistant Secretary and Assistant Chief of Staff noon lamang July 1, 2022. Tama ba?
That's correct.
So that was mid-year.
Yes.
And you will confirm na pag-assume mo ng inyong position around that time, walang confidential fund ang Office of the Vice President. Tama ba?
That's correct po.
Which means na yung successor ni Vice President Sara Duterte na si Vice President Leni G. Robredo, walang confidential funds.
Your Honor, please.
Yes, Attorney Garcia.
No basis, Your Honor, and conclusion of fact.
Kindly clarify, Lenny is not the successor
Sorry,
counsel.
predecessor, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Exactly. So, kindly reform counsel.
Mr. Ortonio, do you confirm that Vice President Sara Duterte's predecessor, former Vice President Leni Robredo, Your Honor, Leni Robredo, she did not have confidential funds?
Your Honor, please.
Yes, Counsel.
Incompetent. He's not a staff of Lenny Robredo.
If he knows, if you know, Mr. Ortonio, you may answer. If you don't, you may answer so as well.
Based on the records that we have, there's no record of confidential funds.
Ito ang dahilan kung bakit humiling ng confidential funds ang OVP sa DBM. Tama ba? Noong 2022. Dahil wala kayong dinatnan na confidential funds ng pagupo mo kasama ng pagupo ng Vice President Sara Duterte. Tama ba?
Yes, ma'am.
And this request for confidential funds, ipinaabot ito sa DBM sa pamamagitan ng isang sulat. Tama ba?
Letter request.
Yes, letter request. Ngayon, I'm showing you Prosecution's Exhibit P-I-4-A dated August 22, 2022. Ito ang nabanggit mong letter request for confidential funds in 2022. Tama ba, Mr. Ortonio?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Sa huling pahina nitong sulat na ito, there appears a signature above the printed name, Sara Z. Duterte. You will confirm that this is the signature of the Vice President.
Yes, I can confirm that this is the signature of the Vice President.
And you're familiar with her signature, familiar ka sa signature niya dahil sa panunungkulan mo over almost 2 decades with her or under her, nakikita mo siyang pumirma ng mga dokumento at nakikita mo rin ang kanyang pirma sa iba't ibang dokumento. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
And on the basis of this letter bearing her signature, tama bang sabihin na ang desisyon na mag-request ng confidential funds, it was the decision of the Vice President. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
And throughout these proceedings, a certain name has been repeatedly mentioned, paulit-ulit na nabanggit, si Colonel La Chica. Kilala niyo siya, tama?
Yes, I know him. He's the
Okay.
group commander for VP-SPG.
You mentioned group commander of the SPG, but you will confirm, Mr. Ortonio, kukumpirmahin nyo na noong Agosto 22, 2022, hindi pa naitatalaga si Colonel La Chica bilang security officer ng OVP. Tama ba?
Yes,
Yes.
that's correct. He started September.
Okay. Yes, in fact, he started only on September 1, 2022. Tama ba?
Yes, based on documents.
Okay. Let us now go to the September 16, 2022 letter. Yan ang nagpapatunay, Mr. Ortonio, na si Mr. La Chica or si Colonel La Chica ay noon lamang September 16 itinalaga bilang commander ng VP-SPG. Tama ba?
Yes, that's... Wait, di masyado clear po.
Your Honor, may we request our assisting counsel in the tech booth to kindly enlarge.
Granted, so instructed.
Copies of the documents being flashed on the screen.
Sir, what's the question again, ma'am?
Etong sa letter na ito, pinapatotohanan nito na si Colonel La Chica ay inappoint lamang o itinalaga lamang bilang commander ng VP-SPG noon lamang September 16, 2022. Tama ba?
Yes, for... Ma'am, I think the memorandum is the designation of Colonel La Chica
Sorry,
as
security officer.
security
Yes,
officer.
security officer.
As security officer, based on the document,
Okay.
yes.
Now, balik tayo dun sa letter dated August 22, 2022. Dito sa letter na to, you will confirm that the OVP requested 4 items. 1, augmentation of financial assistance and subsidy. 2, augmentation of special duty allowance. 3, additional 192 co-terminus and contractual positions. And 4, confidential funds. Tama ba?
Correct, for the 4 items.
And you will also confirm that at the time this document was sent to the DBM, nung ihinihanda ang liham na ito at pinadala sa DBM, na iplano na ng OVP ang mga aktibidad nito para sa nalalabing bahagi ng 2022. Tama ba?
That's correct.
That's correct. Sa katunayan, para sa unang 3 kahilingan, nakapagbigay na ang OVP ng basihan ng mga hiling na halaga. Nakalagay dito ang computation kung paano nakuha ang halagang hinihiling. Tama ba?
That's correct.
That is for the first 3 requests, the augmentation of financial assistance and subsidy, augmentation of special duty allowance, and additional 192 co-terminus and contractual positions. And dahil rin, na-plot out niya na yung mga activities, programs, and plans ng OVP ng time na yan, nakapaglakip na rin kayo ng supporting documents for the first 3 requests. Tama ba?
Yes, that's
Pati
correct.
yung projections, mga relevant projections for these 3 requests.
That's correct.
But, Mr. Ortonio, kinukumpirma mo rin na for the OVP's request for confidential funds, in this letter, walang computation na binigay. Tama ba?
There
For
was,
that, let's limit the answer to the letter. In that letter, no computation was provided. Tama ba?
that's correct. No
There was
computation.
also no projection provided in the same letter. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
And also, there was no physical and financial plan attached to the letter.
For this letter request,
Yes,
none.
none. In fact, there was no attachment supporting the OVP's request for confidential funds. Correct?
There were no attachments, ma'am.
Yes, there were no attachments in support of your request for confidential funds. Tama? Okay.
Mr. Ortonio? Yeah, what's your response?
Yes, that's correct. No attachments, ma'am.
And tama rin bang sabihin na ultimately, ang nag-decide kung magkano ang hihilingin na confidential funds from the DBM ay si Vice President Sara Duterte. Tama ba?
Yes, the determination
Yes.
for the amount
Thank you,
is
Mr. Ortonio.
in the discretion of the Vice President.
Yes, thank you. Now, going back to the letter, dahil wala kayong binigay na computation, projection, or supporting documents, ang tanging nilagay lamang ninyo sa request ay ang explanation kung bakit kayo humihingi ng request. Tama ba?
That's
Yes,
correct.
That's correct. And the explanation and the justification that you gave was, and I quote, for and in consideration of the safe implementation of the various projects and activities under the Good Governance Program and the conduct of official engagements and functional representation in international and domestic events as instructed by the Vice President. End of quote. Tama ba?
Yes, as instructed by
The
the
Vice
President.
As instructed by the President. Okay. In that same letter, you also stated, and I quote, various you committed to formulate programs, projects, and activities relevant to national security and peace and order, and is devoted to implement said PPAs with proper security and safety protocols for the benefit of the institution through the OVP satellite offices, its partner stakeholders, and the general public. End of quote. Tama ba?
That's correct.
So at this point,
With
Mr.
the
Ortonio,
permission
tama
of,
ba?
with the permission of council, can you ask your guy in the tech booth to kindly, whenever you refer to a portion of the letter, to zoom it in so that it's readable on the part of the senator judges, because we really cannot read any part of it. Better. Thank you. You may proceed, council.
So tama ba, Mr. Ortonio, na sabihin na nang pinadala ninyo ang sulat na ito, ang OVP, wala pang programs, projects, and activities na na-identify relevant to national security and peace and order? Tama ba?
Based,
Dahil sabi dito sa letter, you just commit to formulate programs, projects, and activities relevant to national security and peace and order. So at that point, wala pa. Tama ba?
Based on the letter,
Letter,
ma'am,
yes.
there is a commitment to submit the
Yes.
plans and programs.
No, Mr. Tonyo, walang sinasabi dito na you commit to submit plans and programs. Ang sinasabi dito,
To formulate.
formulate programs, projects, and activities. Tama.
Correct.
And this is despite the fact na kanina inamin mo na nung pinadala nyo yung letter na to, more or less, na-identify nyo na yung mga plans, projects, and activities of the OVP for the remainder of 2022. Tama ba?
For
Yes.
the
Yes.
for the plans and
Please
programs.
just answer the question.
Your Honor, please. The witness is answering the question.
Yes,
Your Honor, the
counsel,
if I
let
may,
the
Your
witness answer. He was in the process of answering it. Let's see if it is responsive or not. It can be stricken off if it's not.
In
Yes,
the co-
Mr. Tonyo.
Thank you, Your Honor. In the context of the plans and programs of the office, there has already been plans already at the beginning of the term of the Vice President in July of 2022. That's why we were able to implement already several programs and projects that we will be implementing for the rest of the year and for the rest of the term.
So just to clarify, with respect to those plans, programs, and activities relating to national security and peace and order, eto yung ifo-formulate nyo pa lang when you sent out this letter because that is what stated in the letter. Tama ba?
That's correct.
That's correct. And you will also confirm na wala nang ibang letter request for confidential funds in August 2022.
None.
And dahil wala pang plans and physical and financial plan na nakalakip dun sa letter nyo ng August 22, 2022, sumulat sa OVP ang DBM requesting your office to submit this physical and financial plan in support of your request for confidential funds. Tama ba?
Yes, that's correct.
And the Vice President instructed you, inutusan ka o inatasan ka ng Vice President na sumagot sa letter na ito ng DBM dated September 15, 2022. I'm referring to Prosecution's Exhibit P-I-4-B.
Yes, we are in receipt of this
Okay.
communication.
At ikaw ang inatasan ng Vice President na sumagot sa letter na yan. Tama ba?
As part of my duties as the Assistant Chief of Staff, I regularly respond to communication addressed to the office.
Okay. But the Vice President knew very well that it was you who was responding to that letter of the DBM, correct?
Yes, because as
Okay.
part of my
Yes.
duties po.
And hindi niya naman inassign o inata sa iba. Nang nalaman niya na ikaw ang sasagot, hinayaan ka niya at hindi niya sinabing iba na lang ang sumagot. Tama ba?
Ma'am, for regular communications within the office, it is the Assistant Chief of Staff who signs the documents corresponding to other agencies. So
Okay.
it's already inherent to the function as the Assistant Chief of Staff.
Yes, Mr. Ortonio. But that is ultimately subject to the decision and discretion of the Vice President. Tama ba?
That's correct.
So, dahil yan ay subject sa discretion ng Vice President, anytime the Vice President can revoke that authority. Tama ba?
Yes.
Now, following that instruction, you wrote a letter to DBM dated September 19, 2022. Tama ba? I'm referring to Prosecution Exhibit P-I-4-C.
While you're showing the witness, Attorney May, the August 22, 2022 letter, what's the exhibit marking of that document, if any? For the record.
Sorry, Your Honor. P-I-4-A.
P-I-4-A. Thank you. Witness may answer pertaining to the September 19, 2022 letter, if you're aware of it.
Yes, I signed this transmittal letter to the DBM.
And in that letter, tinukoy ninyo ang Joint Circular 2015-01. Tama ba?
Yes.
So you must be familiar with that Joint Circular. Tama ba?
I'm familiar
Yes.
to a certain extent.
To a certain extent. At tiyak binasa at naunawaan nyo rin ito. Tama ba?
Yes.
Yes. Because, Mr. Ortonio, you're an intelligent witness. You graduated with a bachelor's degree in arts in Ateneo de Davao University. Tama ba?
Communication arts.
Communication arts. You also have a master's in development program from the University of the Philippines.
Yes, development communication.
Development communication. And another master's of arts in psychology, is that correct? From
Yes.
Southville International School and Colleges.
That's correct.
And a diploma course from the Ateneo de Manila Center for Organization, Research and Development.
That's correct.
In fact, you worked as a professor, nagturo ka sa Ateneo de Davao University. Tama ba?
Yes, for 1 semester only.
Gawin ho nating part 2 itong ating Day 18 impeachment trial mga kabayan. Maraming salamat po sa pasuporta sa ating channel. God bless po sa ating